intro. I don't really know what to say. Like, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikayla, and today I'm going to show you guys my everyday makeup routine. I actually have a beginner-friendly makeup routine that I uploaded sometime last year, but I made some changes. I use different products now, and I just think it looks overall better now, you know. And a disclaimer, if you're new to makeup or you just do makeup, you know, every once in a while, I do believe that you don't have to use the exact products that I'm using. Use what you want. I do think the quality of your foundation, concealer, and powder matters. So if you do want to splurge on items, those are the three I think matter. Everything else, if I'm thinking of everything else, you could just buy it at any drugstore, or like, you know. Before I put on any makeup, I make sure I do my skincare. I did do my skincare maybe a couple hours ago, so when that happens, I'm gonna put these two on. This is the Glow Recipe Dew Drops and the Merit Great Skin Serum. If I had to choose to use one, I would use this, but since I have both, I'm using both. I've been really into watching makeup videos on YouTube again, and it reminds me of when I was in high school in like 2016, 2017. And I would watch all these YouTubers doing makeup. It's very nostalgic for me, you know, looking up makeup for black girls on YouTube. Back then, I didn't even wear makeup. I didn't start wearing makeup outside the house until 2023. And that was literally last year. I've been really into hydration for my skin since it's winter time, you know. So this is the Lancome's primer. This is a hydrating primer, and I think it works so well, making sure my face is hydrated and it just feels so smooth. If I'm not using this, I'm using the Power Grip primer. Another product I think is so good. My makeup lasts forever. I do brows before anything. This is the REFY brow pencil in the shade medium. I prefer using brow pencils because I think it just gives a more natural look, and I don't fill my entire brows. I just, you know, put it in the places I feel like needs it. And then I just take the spoolie and I brush it. I'm taking the Urban Decay Slick Day Brow Gel. They sent this to me maybe about a month ago, and I've been using it and I absolutely love it. A little goes a long way, but it holds your brows the entire day. I highly recommend this. An alternative to that brow glue, I also like using the NYX brow glue. I featured it in my other video. It has never done me wrong. To cover my brows, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is an OG. The girls that know. This is in the shade Cool Tan. So I'm making sure that the applicator doesn't have too much on it. I believe this is key to actually allowing it to blend in seamlessly. When it comes to my channel, I'm not sure if I want to do more sit downs, more tutorials, more vlogs. I've tried vlogging a couple times. Honestly, I struggled when it came to remembering to pick up my camera and vlog. At first, I was a little, you know, timid when I saw people watching me, you know, have a camera. But the good thing is I live in New York, you know, so like you see crazy things regardless. But after I got, you know, more confident with having a camera in my hand, the problem was remembering to film, or like I would think I was filming and I wasn't. Like I was just talking to a camera that wasn't recording y'all. Like no one knew, of course, because you know, but I knew. And that was the embarrassing thing. But this brush is an old foundation brush. I like using it to blend out my concealer because it's flat and it just does the job. Yeah. Next up is concealer. I use two concealers for under my eyes. It's not necessary, but I use a lighter shade to kind of highlight the inside and the outside, and one that's kind of closer to my skin tone for the middle. This is the Hourglass Concealer in the shade Maple. I heard everyone talking about this concealer and I was like, it can't be that good because I feel like everything is overhyped on TikTok. But I stand corrected. This concealer is good. I got it about 2 months ago when I use it when I really want a snatched look. This is another OG that we always used to talk about in 2016. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Mocha. And I'm using it, like I said, in the middle. This isn't necessary using two concealers. Honestly, you could just use a concealer that's 2 shades lighter, a shade lighter, you know, whatever your preference is. And that's it. But I also put the concealer on my chin. And I'm not dipping back in the concealer container. I'm just putting the remainder on my chin, the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on my forehead. Now I'm taking this Real Techniques 300 brush and I'm blending out the edges. I'm not gonna blend my concealer out all the way. This helps with coverage and it just blends easier when you actually let it sit there after foundation and blush. So this is what we look like. Crazy. Next is foundation. I'm using the Makeup by Mile foundation and I'm mixing it with this Glowy Super Gel by Say. It's in Sun Glow. And I use this whenever I want a glowy finish to my makeup. So I'm using about this much foundation and about half a pump, which is a little bit much. So I'm just mixing it in. This is what it ends up looking like. This foundation shade is a little bit darker than me. It is perfect for my summer tan, but I still like using it in the winter because it pairs really well with my concealers. So when applying foundation, I just pat it in. This is the Real Techniques 200 brush. And I'm going over the concealer on my chin, the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, but I'm not touching the concealer under my eyes just yet. Next up is blush. I use the Patrick Top blush in the shade She's Wanted. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful purple. And with this blush, it has the powder and the cream. I use the powder first and then I put the cream on top. So good. If I'm not using this blush, I use the Juvia's Place blush in Rosy Posy. Just gives like cute vibes. Like it's such a pretty pink. I'm using the e.l.f. angled blush brush. I go in the powder first and then the cream. Isn't that stunning? I believe the key to consistent good makeup is actually doing your makeup according to your face. So of course my blush placement might be way different from yours, you know? Something that I've done is I went in just with a bare face and I've taken blush and put some blush on my face to see, okay, like if I put it here, oh, that's what it looks like. If I put it here, that's what it looks like, you know? So I found that putting it a little close to the concealer and working it up works best for me. The thing about blush is you could always add more, so I am going to blend out my concealer with the same brush that I mentioned before. And I'm also patting this in and dragging it out on the corner. I prefer to bronze instead of contour. I just like bringing warmth to my face. So this is the Rare Beauty bronzer in Full of Life. And I honestly just put it everywhere I used to contour. If you want more control with your bronzer, I suggest putting it on the back of your hand, taking a brush and working it in. Before I do anything else, I'm going to set my face with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. And I'm using the One Size translucent powder. This is something else that was also hyped on TikTok that I was very reluctant to use, but I suggest this one. So I'm taking a powder puff and I don't bake anymore. I'm just going to make sure there's just enough powder. If there's too much, I just pat it on my hand. And then I just pat the powder in until it just looks right to me. Like, do you guys see how smooth it looks? This compared to this? Like, come on. I know a lot of people are concerned with creasing under their eyes. They're pretty much inevitable if I'm being completely honest, but to have a little less creasing, you want to make sure you're not putting too much product under your eyes and you're working the product in instead of just leaving it there. I'm doing my lashes off camera because I have to film a TikTok video, but for my bottom lashes, I'm using the ILIA Limitless Mascara. So good. An alternative is the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. Also so good. If you use either one, your lashes will look phenomenal. And then I'll be putting on the VI's lash clusters. Something else that was hyped up on TikTok, but I love lash clusters. I've been using them since 2020. My favorite ones are from VI's. I also like to use the B&Q lash clusters, also very good. I'll have both of them linked in my storefront if you're interested. Typically for my lash map, I'll do 16, 16, 14, 12, and 10. It really depends on the type of look I'm going for. Today, I believe I'm doing 16, 16, 14, 12, and 10. But I'll be back after I film this video. I did the lashes, now lips. For lip liner, I used the NYX Lip Liner in Espresso. Let me bring you guys in a little bit. A little bit. That was not a little bit. When I'm lining my lips, I just go with where my lip goes. I don't overline, I don't underline. And on the top, I kind of fill it in a little bit more, like that. And for lip gloss, I'm using the Maracuja Juicy Lip in Hibiscus. Isn't she beautiful? So I'm not gonna put too much because I've been liking the dried up lip look. That's basically it. I'm gonna use the same setting spray that I used earlier. Oh my goodness, like look at that glow, y'all. Please. And yeah, that is my everyday makeup routine. Not too much has changed, but I know I definitely changed a good amount of product. But again, not too much of the products matter. It's really the application, your technique, how you put it on, you know, your placement and everything. And of course, please like, comment, subscribe. I will be seeing you guys very soon. I'm gonna try to be more consistent with YouTube. I've been saying that, but it's a new year and I'll try for real this time. But until next time, I'll see you soon.